Paul, I have to say that, one of the things that's always that I love about you and this story is that you keep returning to your own integrity, right? You keep saying, here's what I knew about myself, and I was unwilling to change, right? I mean, and that really is an entrepreneurial spirit. When you're passionate about something so much so that you'll walk away from X or Y, even if somebody else thinks it's the right thing to do, and how you always feel a strong connection to those around you.
When you're so open to stuff, things just kind of come in, and I have always been the yes man, like I'll always just say yes and take things on. And so I come and I stumble into this information systems class, and it's a requirement for core, and I was like not really looking forward to it, just kind of this random class. And I go in and the professor is Trisha Litz, and I'm like, oh, this lady's kind of cool. Like, she's got a neat personality.
Absolutely,
just kind of,
yes.
Yeah, she just doesn't have many boundaries in a good way, like boundaries for her thoughts. I felt like I could go and tell her about what had recently happened. And what had recently happened was my bow tie company was asked to go to the Emmys. And that whole thing was serendipitous in the way that it happened too. But Trisha, I sat down with Trisha at lunch and I was like, oh, this is what happened. Like, I don't even know where to go from here. Like, I don't know how to take something on this big, and I don't even know if it's possible. She was like, I know who you need to talk to. And she started rattling off names. She was like, Abby Schneider, Ken Sagendorf, Jenna Oliver, like all these, all of you guys on the team now. And I didn't know any of you. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's do it.
It's very important in our business school, this vision of ours, to help businesses become stewards of society. Yeah. So you were interested in who was producing your ties. You're interested in where the ties come from and what they represent.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in this idea of every tie has a story, a different story. It comes from this recycled material.
Yep.
Not only that it's just super cool looking. And so I remember when you shared this story, and I just happened to be in a position in my innovation center with the endowment that supports my center to have some resources.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, I don't think the money's the right question.
Yep.
We have a student. The student actually has used their experiences to their benefit, has the requisite passion of an entrepreneur, but has the vision of someone who wants to connect with the rest of the world. And now they have an opportunity. And there's nothing better than a university that can say, if a student brings passion and vision and understanding of a larger picture, and we have the resources, this is exactly who we ought to support.
Absolutely, and that's one of my favorite things about Regis.
And the best that we can do is slingshot you out with more velocity into the world. So that was the play we wanted to make. And the quid pro quo of this is, we fund you getting to the Emmys. And by we, I mean the university.
Yep.
And this is all about, Regis supporting a student business in their success. And we kind of said, listen, we'll pay for this. We don't have any problem with this. We asked you some of the fundamental business questions. How much inventory do you need before you go, in case you truly blow up the day after?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that was one of the big questions, and that's what we're going to try and plan out here in the future months before we get to the Emmys. We're building a space where these ideas and these conversations become much more commonplace. When we first met, you shared kind of the story and the roots that you came from.
Yeah.
Can share those with me again.